now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Oh, you feel that to a child, you pedophile.
I'm missing, no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, young girl going to school, yeah. I'm not falling nobody. Cause that man where I call you sexy could be twice your daddy. Your time rough like Greta, plus your mama know I me. I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, you dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people picking them alone. It's a disgrace, man. You're just a to your daughter when she tell you she no happy. You see the signs and turn a blind eye. Me I beg you to stop it. That man when you have a come take you, when you left him still a tarry. You left your young girl all alone. Not take your daughter, say hello to you dirty man. You dirty man. Leave the people picnic them alone. You dirty man.
Pedophilia is a horrendous crime that unfortunately our children are facing in our communities, our country, and the world at large.
Yes, you might not see it, but it's happening. So for the real dirty man them, I'm gonna stop it.
If you see something, you need to speak up.
And if you're doing it, you need to stop.
Leave the people picnic them alone.
All right. Good evening, folks, and welcome to another segment of the Cold Hard Truth. Our regulars are here. Thank you so much. Ronika, Irvlyn, Violet says, I am in. Taylor, this is not an ad. This is a hard, cold truth for what we have to deal with on a daily basis here in the Cayman Islands. And we are here, all 344 of you that are tuned in at this moment are here for, quite frankly, the cold, hard truth, and we're going to give it to you. We do have a guest that we're going to be joining into the studio, pulling into the studio here shortly. This is a very serious discussion. And as you guys know, for many, many years now, I have stood by women who have been victimized in this community, especially right here in the Cayman Islands. We don't have to go anywhere else. We don't have to look at any other jurisdiction. It is a regular occurrence here on our islands, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman, and it has got to stop, folks. Enough is enough. And we stand united with all women who've had experiences that, quite frankly, have in some instances left them scarred for life, and other instances scared them to death. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to Kimberly, Angeline. I believe you're in the UK, Kimberly. Is that right? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We've got people all over the world, all over the globe, and of course right here, making sure that you've got it locked to the best show in the world. All right, Kim, thank you so much. Lynette, I'm going to dispense with my usual pleasantries because we do want to get right into the conversation. There's absolutely no time to waste. This is a 1-hour show, and I want to welcome our guests. Good evening, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us your name. Let all the people see this beautiful young lady who's here to talk about her experiences that have not been too pleasant right here in the Cayman Islands. And this is a serious discussion. So let us make sure that we have some ground rules by which we can operate by. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. And I know that some of you will want to defend the indefensible. I have seen it on more than one occasion. And I'm going to give a little bit, I'll let you do your introduction first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of why we're even having this discussion tonight and how we got here. Because this has indeed been a very long, winding road, folks. So give us a shout out, young lady.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Tia McLaughlin. You can find me at The Dark Times on Instagram, as some of you may know me. I'm a gamer and a model, and that's basically it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tia, for taking the time to speak with us. I think it's really important, and I'm so glad that you have decided to join us, because I know how difficult it is, especially in a community like the Cayman Islands, for people to speak out and to just say what is happening, you know, what is going on in this community, to shed some light on a situation like what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's a very serious discussion. So let me just kick it off with a little bit of introductory remarks, and then we're going to bring Tia back into the discussion. So this evening, we're talking about sexual predators in our community. And in fact, the alleged sexual predator that we're going to be talking about this evening is a young man by the name of Mario Blake. Now, Mario, many of you will know him. He's in the entertainment business here in the Cayman Islands. He is supposed to be a photographer. I think that's his main job. And he does like promotion of events and that sort of thing. Now, for years, my ears have been down to the ground, and I have really heard some serious allegations against Mario. Lots of chatter, lots of people talking. Now, let me be very, very frank. When you hear so many people talking about the same person, and everyone has a similar story, or they're all saying the exact same thing pretty much, like the finer details might vary, but I've been in a situation where this has happened to me. You know, I've been uncomfortable. Something has been put in my drink. I didn't feel well afterwards. It's like the same story time and time again. And I find that we are not a judge or juror here. And I want to make this very, very clear. We're not here to say he is guilty. What we're here to say is that in this community, there's been a lot of dialogue for many, many years, and the dialogue continues. And if we cannot have a frank and open discussion with our young ladies about the fact that so many of them are placed in positions where they are uncomfortable or something has been done to them, where else can they go? And I mean, I always want to encourage our young people to make sure that you contact the authorities when something happens. You have to be willing, and I'm not sitting here telling you this is easy to do, because I've spoken to some of you and I know your struggles. I know the system is full of men. The judge is likely to be a man. The police are likely to be a man. They're going to question you. Oh, well, why were you doing this? Why were you doing that? I mean, listen, it's not going to be easy, but at some point, someone has got to stand up to these situations. There was another DJ, and I got to be honest with you. I have a real sense that these DJs here in the Cayman Islands are looking to take advantage of a lot of young girls. And I swear, some of them only get into the entertainment business because they are hoping and having, hoping that they can have easy access to a lot of young girls. When I say young girls, barely legal girls, and sometimes not legal girls at all, 15, 16-year-olds. And so they want that easy access. They want that ready access. They want to be around alcohol because they know, of course, when you're around alcohol, you're more vulnerable as a woman. And again, these are the true stories. This is the truth, right? So yeah, you want to drink. You want to have, a good time when you go out. And, you're going out with your friends. Your friends are also drinking. Everybody's lit. It's a party. But when you're in that situation, there are people who are just looking for an opportunity to take advantage of you. They want to give you a ride, and it ain't the kind of ride that you're looking for. Oh, I'm going to take you home. Folks, be careful. We're going to talk to Tia here in a second about her story. Jade, shout out to Jade. Jade has got white rum, jerk chicken, fish and chips over yeso. Mess with you, Jade. That sounds like a proper party. William, all of you guys are here for it. Yes, my dear Jade. We got to bring out the yardie. So Kimberly Angelina stayed up until midnight in the UK. So let's get right into it. Tia, thank you so much for, first of all, having the courage to even come on this show, having the courage to reach out to me, because I cannot tell you how incredibly important that is. Because there's a lot of young girls who contacted me in the down low, not just about Mario, but about other people in this community who unfortunately are too afraid. No, they don't want people talking about them. One young lady years ago said to me, she wants to get into law school, or she was in law school. She's got to return to Cayman and get a job. And her family's like, don't make any waves because these people are connected people. Well, let me say one thing, first and foremost. Anyone who has the audacity to take advantage of someone who's intoxicated, someone who can't say yes to sex, anyone who's underage, those people are nobody in this community, right? They are no one that you need to be afraid of. You need to be able, and as the song said, they are a dirty man. You need to be prepared to stand up for yourselves and to, fight against this type of disgusting behavior that plays out time and time again in our communities. And unfortunately, there is a long list of predators here. As small as Cayman is, there's a long list of predators. And I'm not trying to just pick on DJs because they run the gamut from lawyers to doctors all the way down. But we do know that in this entertainment field, there seems to be an unusually high number of them. And like I said, my belief is it's about access. It's just like child molesters and child predators. They want to be the coaches on the football or soccer team. They want to hang out with your kids on field trips and this sort of thing. So any position, they want to be the priest in the church. Oh, come and send your children to me. You can trust me. So they want to line themselves up to be in a position where they can have access, because unfeathered access allows them to then take advantage of you. And so the biggest lesson here, the reason why Tia reached out to us, is she wants to warn other people to be careful. Other young ladies, you've got to have your senses about you, and don't continue to put yourself in a position where you are exposed to these people who have a reputation in this community. Tia, how did you meet, he goes by the name of Mario Vibes Time. How did you meet him?
Mario initially DM'd me on Instagram asking if I wanted to join his company. He basically told me what it was all about, and he said he wanted hot girls to hand out free promotions, like free gift baskets or whatever products
And
in
we
order
we
to
got the
help promote the
receipts.
company.
By the way, Tia, let me just say, Tia would not be here this evening if she did not have the receipts. Tia
Yes.
has provided the receipts, folks, and I will be sharing on the screen here throughout the evening a number of these receipts so that you can all see exactly what we're talking about. If for some reason I didn't believe this young lady, she would not be here. She is telling her truth and her story. We invite Mr. Mario on if he has another story that he wants to tell. Come on, share whatever it is. But let me show you guys exactly what Tia is saying is spot on. Here it is. Would you be interested in joining our team? And this is what she says. What does that entail? So this was the first contact. And roughly when was this, Tia?
This was around like November 1st. Uh,
Mhm.
I basically was asking him like what is all of this, and I was going to leave Ireland around this time, and I wasn't sure if I directly wanted to join his team at this time.
Mhm.
So this is where I asked him like I'll get back to you, where you can see here, and you can see that I'm saying I'm leaving soon, but I'll get back to you.
Okay. So, when you heard this young man contacting you, did you think to yourself, who is this young man? Let me ask around about him. I'm curious as to, what were your initial thoughts that someone
My
just
initial
randomly?
thoughts were I straight up went to his Instagram and I saw all the companies he was working with. And my
Mm-hmm,
initial thought is like, oh, there's some well-known companies here working with him. There's Jake Scott's, there's Appleton, vodkas, everything. And I'm like, okay, so I don't see initially that there would be a bad thought when you look at his Instagram.
mm-hmm,
Me as a person, I am not a very partier. I'm not a
mm-hmm,
partier at all. So I necessarily haven't heard anything about him other than he was a DJ and
mm-hmm.
somehow a photographer, like some kind of photographer. Um,
Okay. So
Other
there were
than
no
that, I haven't.
initial, in your
No,
mind then, Tia, there were no initial red flags
no,
that
there
made
wasn't.
you go, oh, I don't want to, talk to this guy because you'd never heard about him. And
Yes,
Tia, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm currently 20 years old.
Okay. So, as a 20-year-old growing up in the Cayman Islands, and this Mario guy is a little bit older than you, you haven't heard of him. This is the one thing I want to say about this because everyone assumes that people in Cayman know everyone. They're like, well, if someone is, known to have a certain reputation, wouldn't everybody know that? The truth of the matter is that is not the case. A lot of times people do not know these persons. You didn't go to school with them. You don't, if I don't know if he has a brother or sister, whatever, but if you don't know him, you don't know him. So you go in blindly, you're thinking, okay, he works with a lot of companies. This looks legit. It does look like he's in the business. And so it's a paid job. I'm interested. So where did we go from there?
From there, we met. We met basically the same day. He basically told me there was an event or um, event that he wanted me to go to, and basically, as he put it, test how I would react to the crowd. Because in these parties, you need to be at least friendly. You need to be, outgoing in the sense that you can't be just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to hand people stuff and be kind of shy in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we went to this party and basically, sorry, we went to this party and we basically, he talked to me about like the certain stuff that he's had to deal with, and he brought up age as a factor. He made sure that I brought my passport to him, as at the time he was being sued for underage. I think I can't remember what it was exactly. I think it was underage, like some girl was underage and he took pictures of her inappropriately and took her to a party inappropriately, and her parents sued Mario for it, as he told me in the car.
Okay.
Um,
Now let me just pause the story there for a second, because I do not think that it was a lawsuit in terms of like her parents suing him. It wasn't a civil lawsuit. My understanding is this was actually criminal allegations. Now, last year I had heard about this. I had heard that there had been more than one incident of this young man going into a criminal court to face allegations of him having relations with underage girls. Now, let us just back it up just a little bit, right? Because I want to give a shout out and some proper props to DJ Vaughn. Last year, I'm trying to remember exactly when it was, but it was at least last year, possibly the year before. No, this was November of 27. My apologies, because I'm all off of my dates. November of 2017, DJ Vaughn, a lot of you guys know he has his own entertainment company. He started posting some stuff on social media to say, hold on a second here. There are some concerns about this young man and some of the things that he is doing. And I have had young ladies reach out to me. That's how I know that there are concerns. And Vaughn posted some stuff, went viral. And in fact, the funny thing about this is at the time I spoke to a number of people, and there were some of you, and I don't know if you're still here listening to this situation, but there were actually some of you. Hold on one second. Let me.
sorry.
Do you need a
She's
minute?
checking
Or
on
you're
me.
okay?
No, she's checking on me.
Okay. There are some of you who actually tried to give Vaughn a really hard time. And in fact, this is the irony of life. You know, when you're doing the right thing, sometimes you don't always get the respect that you deserve. So in this particular case, there were people who were lambasting. I'm going to show you the date on this. This is November the 29th of 2007. So almost 3 years ago. Seriously, almost 3 years ago, this came up as a point of discussion. And here we are again, still having the discourse. Isn't that amazing? Same person, yet another situation. Crazy. Some of you are saying, yes, this has been ongoing from the early 2000s. Folks, the year now is 2020. So Vaughn was called a liar. He lost jobs. He, this young lady came forward in a separate case to tell her story in Cayman 27. Even after that, there's some notes I have here. People still made Vaughn out to be a liar and a hater. And this is what Vaughn has shared with us now that he's reflecting on what has happened. He said this issue isn't only about Mario, it is us as a community. We are quicker to believe the person who's telling us that they got raped is a liar, which in cases makes people not want to come forward. Right? He said he was on the case. He was trying to say this guy is a predator. He was calling him out. He has had over 25 girls tell him that they have been assaulted. Over 25 girls. Same MO, playing Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to drive you home. Let me walk you inside. And we're going to talk to Tia here in a minute. I'm going to follow you into the bathroom. I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but the stories are plentiful. And unfortunately, the sad situation is that when we defend the indefensible, those persons never learn a lesson. Tia, continue with your story, my dear.
Sorry, I don't know where I left off.
Yeah, that's okay. So we were just talking about you going to the first event. So you showed up to the first event. The idea is, okay, let's go ahead and start meeting some people. Obviously, if you're going to be doing events like this, you have to be somewhat outgoing.
Yes.
And you were like, okay, I'm ready for this. I'll take this on as a job. You show up. Any red flags initially?
Initially, no. He just basically he stuck me behind the DJ booth. He started taking videos and promoting the event, which I expected in the first place. And then after I think an hour or so, he started bringing me alcohol. And I was like, I don't drink on a job, like because after the whole introduction onto Instagram, I was getting a lot of DMs or messages from my friends, which they were saying to be very careful of him. And
Mm.
I
So
was like getting
stick a pin. He introduced you on Instagram
yes. So what
to
he
say
does,
you're going to be working with him.
yes, he takes a picture from your Instagram or even asks you for a bunch of pictures sometimes, and he takes the pictures and he posts it and says introducing our new Vibe Science model or something like that. And then he will introduce you to the group of people as well, because there's a
Mhm.
group chat where you go in and basically all of the groups are separated and you have a certain amount of people that you work with to limit problem. So you would have at least like 10 people in one group chat, and then there's another like 4 or 6 group chats that he has.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So right away, some people started messaging you to say, be careful.
Yes, one of my friends, after, I shouldn't say right away, but a few days or so after, they started messaging me, asking me to be careful. Like they didn't exactly tell me like why I need to be careful, but they're saying that he is known for a lot of things. Uh,
Mhm.
and so just watch out and try not to let your guard down around him.
Right. And when your friends are telling you that, what did you think? Like, I mean, it's weird that a friend is going to warn you about something, but not just come out and say, this is what I'm trying to tell you. So what did you think? I mean, were you thinking, oh my God, I better not work with this guy, I better run for the hills? Like what were you thinking at that point?
I think what everyone that gets into Vibes Times and gets into this whole promotion thing is they're thinking about the money. They're thinking about what do I need at this moment. And for me, a year ago or in change, it was I want to make a couple of dollars for myself
Mhm.
because at the time I wanted my mom to buy my mom something, and I usually work for my mom, and I didn't want to use necessarily her money to buy her a gift or buy my family a gift for Christmas because this was around November-ish time where I started working for him. So I wanted to be able to have a little extra money for December, Christmas time.
For Christmas. Okay.
Yes.
Yep, got it. All right. So you show up that evening. Right away, he offers you a drink. You say, no, thanks. I don't drink on the job. What was his
Yes.
response when you said, no, thanks?
He consistently asks me just to taste it. You'll like it. Just drink it a little bit, drink some of it. And I just straight out refused to drink anything. It was a mixed drink, open drink. Me as a woman, my personal opinion, I don't take drinks from people in
Hmm.
general, if I haven't seen it getting mixed by a bartender myself.
Right. Smart girl. Somebody taught you well. Okay. So that job went okay. That was the first one. You go on to the next job. Just give us a summary of how the jobs were coming along. Did you have him offer you any more drinks after that and any other jobs? What was the vibe then?
Basically, he would message you on WhatsApp or, well, mainly WhatsApp, and he will say, "Oh, are you free this night? Are you free that night?" And that's how you would get jobs. And he'll say, "Okay, this is the time. This is what you'll be wearing. This is what you need to bring."
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's multiple times he offered me drinks. Of course, again, I refuse to drink anything um, that I haven't seen the bartender make themselves. And period. Uh, I just didn't drink anything in my time with him there because
Okay.
I just, again, I don't drink when I'm on a job, and I feel like me myself as a person, I don't hold liquor really good. So if I'm drinking, I'm just gonna be all over the place. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking with close friends that I know I'm safe with, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just how. my body works and that's how I am.
Yeah. So Winnie Parr says a lot of people for so many years have been telling the same story. Come on. And that's the shocking thing about this is that, like I said, you're not the first young lady that has shared a story. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into what your story is here in a second. But it is shocking and surprising that it has gone on for so long. Do you have any sense? Now, this is you're young, so you may not really fully get this, but do you have any idea why someone can get away with bad behavior in this community for so long? I mean, in your case, you said you didn't even really know anything about him until after he posted on Instagram, and even then people are telling you, oh, just be careful, but they're not saying, listen, this dude has a reputation for doing XYZ. Why do you think people get away with stuff for so long?
I honestly think that in the Caribbean, as a culture, we're quick to label people, and people are really um they care a lot about how they look. They care a lot about um how people perceive them as a community. And again, everyone's gonna feel that way. We're all human beings. We care about what people think about us, but
Mm.
it's to the point we care that much. If you ever notice that in Cayman, we have a lot of beauty salons, we have a lot of like things to make us look good. We have clothes. We like this is the main, I think, selling point in Cayman, where the majority of people who are consumers of stuff is it's beauty products, makeup,
Right.
it's hair, it's nails, it's stuff to
It's
make you look
That's an
better.
interesting point. I think that's very observant of you for a young lady. And I think you have a very valid point. So Christina says yes, but this is from 2017. So Christina, I was only mentioning the comments from Vaughn, which went back to 2017, where he addressed some of the concerns that had been brought to him, where basically he says some 25 plus women have said, this has happened to me. I have been assaulted and so on. And at that time, almost 3 years ago now, he was labeled a liar. He was called a hater. Oh, Vaughn, you're jealous apparently of Mario, what's his name? Mario Vibes Time. And that is why you're having these things to say. Now, I think it's interesting that another man, and I mean, this is Cayman, so we're all in the sus. We know how petty people can be. But I do think that it is very, very interesting that another man can make a comment and come out on behalf of women, right? And he is the one who becomes the bad person. He's the one who becomes the bad guy that everyone wants to castigate instead of the person who's actually doing it. And of course, Tia has just said, in her opinion, part of the reason why people are not speaking up is the fact that they are afraid of, I guess, reputational damage. They have a reputation to protect, or that's what they think. So as a result of that, they would rather be assaulted and remain silent, assaulted and not contact the police, assaulted and not call your uncle to go beat somebody's what. So people get away with it. And the more someone gets away with bad behavior, this is just human nature here, folks. The more someone gets away with bad behavior, the more they're going to do it. It emboldens them. Oh, okay. So I did this to this person. I'm going to keep doing it. And they get more and more bold. And it's like at some point, they're just out there doing whatever the hell they want because there's no level of accountability. Okay. So Tia, you do a couple jobs. You agreed to get paid. I saw the message where he basically said, this is what we're going to pay you. So you're going to get paid for an infinity fashion show. Crispy vodka from 12 to 4 a.m. Rubus from 11 to 6 a.m. Bon Appetit from 11 to 4. So you're going to all of these events, a boat party, $100, $75, $100. And he says here, is this a text from you or from him? What is this message that we're looking at?
Those are my hours that I recorded myself as I was doing it, because my mom told me that I need to watch out and make sure that you're recording the dates, the times that you are there, have pictures of the event, make sure that you know how much you're being paid so you don't get scammed of
it
the
looks
money
like Tia. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sorry. So you were just recording and writing down your hours.
Yes. I was advised to write down and record my hours.
Okay, no problem. All right. So you've done these jobs. Now I want to focus on a story that you shared with me earlier today. So one of these jobs that you did, and I'm assuming just by looking at the list here that you've recorded,
Yeah.
that is it the one that says crispy vodka?
Yes, it is.
Right. And I only know that, I've only guessed that because you said to me that it was 4 o'clock in the morning when you were leaving this job and he offered to give you a ride home. Why is he giving you a ride home? Why don't you don't have a car?
No, I do not drive.
Okay. So you don't drive, you don't have a car. He offers to give you a ride home. Have you ever accepted a ride from him before?
No. Actually,
Okay.
I always went to the event. I always had someone drop me and pick me up, but because it was so late in the night, he offered to pick me up, drop me home, sorry.
Okay. Now, this event was, where was the event? West Bay Road?
It was I don't remember exactly, but it was the gentleman's event in town, I believe it was.
Okay. Now you live in Savannah.
Yes, I live in Savannah.
Okay. So when he starts now to want to give you a ride home, you have to obviously tell him where you live so that he knows the general direction. Explain to us what then happens.
Then we went into the car when we were leaving. It was like 4 a.m. when it finally ended. We started driving towards town, and I was like, where are we going? What's happening? I have to get home. He's like, I have to go do something. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but my mom's waiting on me, which was completely an excuse because I was tired. I just worked. I wanted to go home. I was wearing heels all night. I said to him, yeah, my mom's waiting on me. I gotta get home. He starts continue driving, and I'm just like, okay. He puts on music. He's like, put on music. Can I use your phone to put on music? Because he didn't have any data at the time. And I was like, okay.
Now,
he has
hold
my
on a
phone.
second, just a second here. Now, to me, this is super weird. Does he not have a car radio?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah. So did you not think this is weird that this guy wants my phone to play music?
Honestly, it was because he was playing music on his phone originally, and he ran out of data. Is that why he wanted to put on a specific song, as he would say? And he wanted to listen to a specific type of music.
So you didn't really think that was that weird to ask for your phone?
No.
Okay. All right. So he asked for your phone. You hand him your phone. He's telling you that he wants to drive you somewhere, and you're saying, no, I want to go home.
Well, he didn't ask. He just started driving.
Oh, he just started. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
he didn't ask me.
Okay. So he didn't ask your permission, like, hey, I need to make a stop. Can I go in this direction? He just says, I'm going somewhere.
Yes.
Wow. Folks, we have over 1,000 people watching this live stream right now. What I want to say to all of you is there is a reason why so many of you, it's now 1,010 people between Facebook and YouTube. There is a reason why so many of you are tuned into this program, because you know that this story is touching a lot of you right now. It's just gone up to 1,015 folks. 1,016.
I need to stop reading these comments.
It's just crazy. There's something about this story, I think, that many young people can relate to. So here's a guy giving you a ride home, and you're saying to him, right, I live in Savannah. I want to go home. I'm tired. It's been a long day. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. And then he starts driving you in another direction. Right away, are you thinking, what's going on here?
Definitely. I was like, what's happening? And as that initial thought, I felt so scared, but he just kept driving, and we were just listening to the music, and I kept telling him, I do want to go home. At the end, we drove down a dirt path, and I was like, where are we going? We drove down a dirt path, and I later realized that we were at 7 Mile Beach. He drove me down a dirt path. where there was like a clearing of bushes and there's like a dirt path going straight and into like a parking lot. Uh,
Wow.
you guys, I think I sent you the picture of the location as well.
Yeah,
You
let
guys
me because I do want to I do want to mention this, right? Because after we posted up earlier, we scheduled the show. Someone said to me, "Oh, there's probably more to this story. This girl probably isn't telling the truth. This typical BS that men like to come at you with." And I got to tell you, I am beyond offended when people make this assumption that a young lady would have to lie about something like that. When it's like, why would she be lying on this man, right? But here's the thing. Tia happens to be a very smart young lady, so she was afraid. And you can imagine, I mean, I remember being 19 and 20 years old, and sometimes you don't have the full world of experience on your shoulders. You must have been thinking in that moment. Tell me what you were thinking. You tell me in your own words.
I was thinking, what do I do? What do I do? And
Yeah.
the first thing I did was I turned on my location on my phone.
Right. Smart. So let me just pull this up because I think this is really important. So Tia, smart thinking here. She turns on the location on her phone, which, by the way, always keep it on your phone, because if anything happens to you folks, the way that they will find you, the way that they will be able to tell, where you were to back up your story. Because heaven forbid Tia was murdered. Okay, we would never want that to happen. But say this young lady was murdered, and in the investigation, they're trying to figure out, well, where did the murderer go? Did they stop here? Where did they take her? The only way they're going to know that information, right, is if your phone was on, because your phone is in constant communication with the locator and the GPS, and it's going to ping on the cell towers and tell people where you are. Folks, I can tell you this without any degree of doubt, because all of you will know our lovely Estella Scott was murdered right here in the Cayman Islands by two men who grabbed her in a parking lot. One of the ways in which the police knew how these guys had moved, so in other words, the fact that they grabbed her in that parking lot, they took her to West Bay, they sexually assaulted her in the dikes, and then killed her, right? They left, went back to the scene, and then left West Bay in the morning on a bus. The police were able to piece this entire story together, folks, because of her cell phone information. And if you guys will remember, at the time, Estella actually worked for Flow, which is now Lime at the time. Now it's Flow, right? So she worked for Flow, and Flow immediately provided this information to the police, to the authorities. And it was one of the ways in which they eventually were able to find her, because her coworkers were out looking for her and they could pinpoint where her phone was in terms of speaking to the cell phone towers. And there's a great deal of accuracy. You guys know, you got an iPhone, somebody steals your iPhone, that iPhone tracker, Find My Phone, can pinpoint the house where that phone is at. So just a word of advice, keep it on, folks. Never turn it off. So you turn it on in this moment because now you're starting to feel a little bit afraid.
Yes.
Okay. So what is he saying when he takes you to the beach? I mean, do you say to him, this is where you needed to come? Is this an urgency? Like, what is this?
At first, I didn't even know it was a beach. I was just like, where are we? Because like I said, I don't drive. I've lived in Cayman my whole life, and I'm not a partier. I don't go out, so I'm not really good with directions or where we are. Like if I can see what we're doing, and it was pitch black. It's 4 a.m. in the morning. Like there's no light, there's nothing. So I didn't exactly knew where we were, and he tells me to get out the car. And I'm just, and I even refused to get out of the car, and I'm like, what?
And
Why?
when he said get out the car, like, is it, hey, can you please step out of the car? I want to show you something. Or was it like, get out of the car? Like, how did he say it?
Like, not forcefully, like, get out the car, but he was just telling me to get out the car, like, and like come out the car with me.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. So you get out of the car, and then what's he doing when you're out of the car?
We walked down to the beach, and he just like he didn't say anything to me. I asked him for my phone because he picked up my phone, like trying to help me get out the car. I asked him back for my phone, and he basically had the music playing on my phone as well, still. And he was like, "Oh, we should take some pictures since we're here." And I'm
Okay.
like, "Take pictures? My makeup's messy. It's 4 a.m. I just finished like a job, I'm tired and I have to go home." He's like, "Yeah, just lie down in the sand. We'll take a few pictures of you." And he just kept persisting and persisting for me to sit in the sand. So I finally just get down in the sand of how scared I was,
Mm.
and he takes a few pictures with his phone. And as he's taking the pictures, I could just hear, like, it's just silence other than the music, and I can just hear him breathing. And that breathing creeped me out so much that I just jumped up and I was like, "I don't want to take pictures. The sand hurts my hand. Uh, I want to
So
go home."
you could hear him breathing like behind you,
Like he was directly in front of me, and he
and you
even
could
tried
hear
to
him
fix like
breathing.
my dress and stuff like that. Yeah, I could hear him breathing.
Wow. All right, folks, let me share something here with you because I know you're probably sitting there thinking, oh man, I don't know about this story, right? This sounds kind of crazy. Thank you so much. I saw, let me see, Flashpoint says this young lady is very brave. She's really a strong person. I encourage her to reach for the stars as anything is possible for someone like her. I know she's very shy. She's kind of like, oh my God. This isn't someone who's seeking attention here, folks. But let me show you the proof in the pudding of how afraid this young lady was. So one of the things that she did is she took a picture of herself, and you are really, really smart. I mean, you were using your brains. So she took a photo of herself at 7 Mile Beach so she could capture the time. Look at how smart this is, folks. It is now 4:20 a.m. So all of her stories adding up. She left the event at 4 o'clock. We're supposed to be home. This dude is driving her around, God knows where. So she turns on her phone locator and takes a photo of herself with, as you can see, the ocean in the background. And up at the top, it says 7 Mile Beach. What did you do with that photo?
I then texted like my boyfriend and sent him like a picture of me basically, and I was just telling him how scared I was.
All right. So again, the proof is here, folks. Let us have a look at the proof. This is her messaging her boyfriend. She has him saved in phone as my love, November the 11th, 2009, and says, how's it going, babe? And this was you saying at 4:18 that you were going home now. And he
Yeah.
says, okay, beautiful. And then not long after that, you say he took me to a beach and tried to take pictures of me. I felt so uncomfortable. And then your boyfriend's like, by yourself? And you said, yes. And did they take any? He took 2, but I deleted them. And he's like, what for? And you said, I don't know. I said, let's go. And he's like, okay. So just a second here. And then your boyfriend says, why is he taking you to the beach? I think it took a minute for your boyfriend to catch on because
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably still sleeping. I don't know.
Well, he lives in the UK, so he doesn't realize like what time it is here. Yeah,
Oh,
he moved to the UK and he's living there now.
okay.
Yeah.
I see. Right. So it took him a minute to realize it's actually
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
I got you. All right. So when it finally sinks in that it's 4 o'clock in the morning, he's like, wait a minute. Why is he taking you to the beach at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
And you're like, exactly. How long until you home? And you're still saying you're far. And
Yeah.
again, you say that you're not really that great with directions because you don't drive.
Yeah.
And, at this point, you turn on the locator on your phone, but you're still thinking, I'm a long ways from home.
Yeah, because I was still all the way in West Bay, 7 Mile Beach. We basically just left. Like we were in the car driving.
Okay. Now, what is he saying anything to you when you get back in the car, when you're like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. At any point, does he say anything to you?
Well, when I directly got back in the car after I said, I don't want to do this, like I want to go home, I kind of just ran back to the car. He came back and he's like, what's up? What's happening? What's wrong? And I'm like, I need to go home. My mom's waiting on me. Like that's the excuse I kept saying. Like my mom's waiting up for me. My mom's waiting up for me. Like basically trying to make it seem like I have someone waiting for me. I have
Right.
like
They're
if I go
expecting you.
missing or if something happens to me, my mom knows I'm with you, so he
Right.
would not do anything to me because I
Right.
was so scared.
Wow. So then you say here that he keeps going around the roundabout. Tell me about that. What does that mean?
Yes, he actually there's a roundabout on the stretch. I actually have the name here because I like Google searched the road. It's
Mhm.
called Easterly Terrace Highway, Easterly Terrace
Right.
Highway.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a couple of roundabouts, but the first roundabout from 7 Mile, uh, he went around it like 3 times.
Mhm.
I don't know how to drive, but I'm pretty sure you don't even need to go fully around the roundabout to go straight.
Yes.
Um, and he did that around 2 roundabouts. Uh,
Right. So
the first one
he
there that
kept
you can
circling
see.
around the roundabout. Did you
Yes.
get the sense that why do you think he was doing that?
I have no idea. I guess he wanted me to be with him a little longer in the car. I guess he wanted to stay with me a little longer, and it just freaked me out. Yeah.
Wow. That is freaky. I gotta tell you the truth. I mean, I have been in some situations in my life where, as a woman, your intuition goes up that something is wrong here. This isn't right. And this certainly seems like one of those situations. So this now is the location. Once you put on your locator, this is what you sent your boyfriend to
Yes.
say, this is where I am.
Yes.
And in case anything happens to me, this is where I'm at.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So bring us up to speed now. After that night, did you have a conversation? Like, does this guy message you afterwards and say, hey,
No, he
sorry about
didn't.
last night. I know things got a little bit weird.
I
You
don't
know?
think he realized how weird and how freaked out I was because I was really trying to make it seem like I wasn't scared in that sense because I didn't want it to be like anything to happen to me. So I was acting like I was cool, like I wouldn't
Yeah. Now, let me just say this real quick. Jaron says, I feel like he can explain his side too. Jaron, he has an open invitation. I want to make this very, very, very clear. Okay. Mario, we know you're going to see this. We know you're listening to this program. Feel free to come on here and explain your actions, not just with this young lady, but with all of the young ladies who have made allegations against you. You are more than welcome to come on this program. We would love to hear from you because the honest to the God's truth is Nathan is saying he's like Cayman's R. Kelly. Well, I appreciate that comment because the truth of the matter is you've got a long history of people saying the exact same thing about your behavior when it comes to young girls. Now, Tia has shared with us that when you first hired her, you asked for ID because you were already in court with another allegation with a young girl. Tia, when you went to, I think it might have been your first job or second job, there were a bunch of other girls there and you guys started talking, asking each other, well, how old are you? How old are you? What were the ages of some of the young girls who were there with you at that one event?
It was I think it was my second job. There was a young girl. They were talking and we were saying, "Oh, how old are you? Can we get our Instagrams?" Because we really bonded and we really liked each other. Like I said, I'm not criticizing any of the girls that work for him. They're really amazing. So they're like, "How old are you? Are you like 16?" And I'm like, "Do I look 16?" And they're like, "Yeah, you look 16." I'm like, "Oh no, I'm 19 years old." And then I was like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "I'm 16." I'm like, "You're 16? Like you don't look 16." But like I didn't know that he was hiring people that was 16 because again, he was so adamant about my age that he knew my age and I had
And there was still a
identification that
16-year-old there. And when
yeah.
you said to her, you don't look 16, kind of like, what are you doing here? Because, you're going to like entertainment events that are considered adult events, right? So there's people there drinking and other stuff. So what was her response to you when you said that?
The event that we went to wasn't necessarily a drinking event in that sense. It was we were just handing out like flyers and stuff, but she's been to other events for him. I just knew that I seen her before, like in another event.
Right.
So
What did
when
she
I was
say
like,
about her age when you said, "Oh wow, you're only 16"? What was her response?
her response was just like, yeah, don't tell anyone, I guess. It was basically that's what was like hush hush, like uh not everyone knows that I'm 16, basically.
Okay, so do you think he knew that she was 16? I mean, obviously he's asking for IDs, right? So
I'm pretty sure he probably knew she was 16. I don't see why he wouldn't know that she was 16 if he's asking everyone for IDs, and I feel like the kind of event that he booked her for was appropriate for a 16-year-old in that sense.
Right. Okay. So Seaford says, "Well done for speaking out. You are a hero for many young women." Chantal says he know who and who not to pass his place with. I think that people like that will take a chance with anyone if they think that they can get away with it. Some other young ladies. Now, let me be for full disclosure, Tia, you started posting about him a couple days ago.
Yes, 2 days
not
ago.
so much about, did you tell your mom about the beach incident, by the way, at the time that it happened?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so the only person that you told was your boyfriend?
Yes.
Which
and
we
my
saw
friends at the time.
some of your friends?
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't you tell your mom, you think?
Because my mom was already against the whole Vibes Times thing, of mainly because of the times, and like her friends of course started warning her as well. Again, not telling her what exactly that he's done or but they're saying that she needs to be careful of him.
Okay, so she
Or at
was
least
already
she
not
didn't tell
feeling
me that they
comfortable
said
with it.
anything.
So you're thinking, if I tell my mom, she's going to pull me from this, and that'll be the end of
Yes,
that.
and I really wanted the money from what we were doing.
Okay. All right. So there was another event that you did at, remind me here of the venue, Margaritaville Hotel on West Bay Road. And we're naming events and people and situations here, folks, because I don't want anyone to think that we're making this up or that we're lying. I had said to Tia when I met with her earlier today, the only thing I need you to do is to tell the truth, right? Just be honest with whatever you have to say. And so that is a requirement here on the Cold Hard Truth, as you can imagine. So tell me then about that particular event.
Okay, so this boat party was on December 11th. I was there from 1 to 5 at the actual event. We were actually supposed to meet there at 12. So we were there at 12. We had to wait for all the girls to get there. There were 2 other girls with me. When we got there, the woman who organized the event for the party, the man and his clients, as he wanted to impress, we were told that by Mario, we were told that it was a boat party where we would have to serve drinks to these guys and basically like talk to them and serve them drinks, basically. When we got there, the woman instantly started criticizing our appearances. She started to say that we want your hair down, we want sexy women, we want, people who look good. That's what we hired. So Mario was like he started to get, he started to look at me after I was like, what is this to him? And he's like, this is not what you said in your email. This is not what you were implying that they were doing.
So you're starting to get the sense now that he had made certain promises to this client about what you guys would be doing, how you'd be dressed and wearing your hair and what you'd look like.
I'm not sure exactly. I can't tell from what he said. This is all he said to me, is that we were supposed to be serving drinks and helping out. And it was supposed to be multiple people. It wasn't just supposed to be 4 old men, rich men on a boat. It was
So it was only
supposed to be a
four. It was only
party.
4 men.
Yes.
Wow. Now, when you say old, I appreciate that you're only 20. How old do you think they were?
I think they're around 40s, 50s, maybe.
Okay. All right. So that's old to you. I just want to check in. I mean, old is like 70, 80, but they weren't quite that old. So
No.
middle-aged men, but they're old to you.
Yes.
And
Middle-aged men. Sorry.
you initially had the impression that this was an event that was going to be like a whole boat full of people, not just
Yes.
4 men.
Yes. I was told that it was a party as in like, something, typical Caymanian boat party where they're serving drinks and handing out stuff and partying on this boat.
Wow. Amazing. What is this? Dick Cummings says, I think Ma Road comes up with these same stories the same time 3 years in a row. Child, please, I do not have time to make up stories. Believe me, you. Up until today, I've actually never met this young lady. So I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke, but it ain't funny. Because, first of all, we would never make these types of allegations against someone, or I'm not making the allegations, this young lady sharing her story, if I didn't believe her story, if she wasn't believable, and if I had not heard this 50 other times already, and finally one person is willing to come and to speak up, this isn't something that's funny, and this isn't something to joke about. Sharm wants to know, what's the police doing about it? Well, here's the thing. If no one comes forward to the police, or even when they do, because there was a case before the courts, these things seem to disappear. I had someone say to me earlier today, does he have connections in the police force? Because they are wondering, why is it that when young girls do go through and make complaints to the authorities, nothing ever seems to come of it? And that is a real interesting question. Now, on this boat trip, young lady, you're there, you're on the boat. The client wasn't too pleased with the fact that you weren't dressed sexy enough, or you didn't have your hair a certain way or whatever.
Yes, he actually offered us to buy something from his the gift shop, which he paid for. He paid for swimsuits for us to wear in the gift shop.
So what did you show up to at the event? What were you wearing initially?
Initially, my hair wasn't down because I previously went to a boat event for my mom, and I had my hair down, and it was a disaster. Like, all the wind was in my hair. I have really thick, coarse, curly hair, so I felt uncomfortable last time when I went on a boat, so I put my hair in a bun. My hair was in a bun, and she even we had a shirt that she given us. It was like a yellow shirt, and she even said that we had to tie our shirt in the front. And I think I was just wearing regular shorts, and he also provided us with bottoms. So we had matching bottoms and matching shirts.
Okay, but the client wanted you to put on a bathing suit.
Yes, as we were at I guess on the beach, or both. We weren't on the beach, I should say. We were like in the water on a boat.
Okay. So there was something else that transpired at that event that you shared earlier with the manager at Margaritaville at the time. He made a comment to you that you found to be unprofessional and really weird. Can you share that with us?
First, he was asking us if we wanted to be bartenders at this thing, and we were really like confused and like weirded about it. And he said, when we were doing our clothes and everything, like trying to figure out like, oh, what could we wear, what could we do, he was saying, oh, you guys can get a swimsuit from the gift shop, and this is when he offered us for a swimsuit at the gift shop, or go topless.
So he made the offer to buy you the swimsuit at the gift shop.
Yes, and then he slipped, or go topless, and you can buy a gift at the gift shop. It's like,
go topless?
Yes.
What? Now, this was the guy from Margaritaville.
Yes, and then Mario said to him that is illegal.
Wow.
Then he proceeded to say that people do illegal things all the time in Cayman.
Wow. Wow. So this client was expecting you girls to go topless on a boat with 4 middle-aged men. And did Mario seem outraged by that? I mean, if I were in the entertainment business and that wasn't the agreement, and someone suggested that to one of my workers, I'd be like, hell no. What are you saying?
Yes, he did. He was outraged by it.
Yeah.
And we continued to go meet with the other girls, and basically we had a discussion where the other girls were saying to them, if you feel too uncomfortable, that we can leave. At the end, the 2 other girls wanted to stay, and so I felt bad because they hired 3 girls that I was the only one that wanted to leave. So in the end, I stayed with them as well, and we basically were saying, oh, we're gonna protect each other. We're gonna make sure that nothing happens to each other.
Wow.
Like I said, the girls there are very nice and they're really sweet.
Yeah. Anything at the event happen then after that of interest at that particular event?
No.
Okay. So how many events in total have you worked for Mario?
I have worked 7 in total.
Okay, so you did 7 events. When was the last event?
The last event was the boat party at December 11th.
Okay. So from November to December, basically, you worked 7 events.
Yes.
What happened after that while you stopped working these events?
Basically, my mom was telling me, getting into detail of why she didn't want me to work with him.
Right.
Then I've started to hear like accusations even on the job after. When we left that job, that's when allegedly, like, there was someone telling me he had the night before had sexually assaulted someone.
And I know that, I mean, you've never told me that before just now, but
Yeah.
I have heard of this from multiple people at the time that it happened. People are messaging me, did you hear that this Mario guy has been arrested for sexual assault? I heard that at the time. So you have just confirmed something quite independently that you didn't mention to me when we met earlier today. You've just said it in this moment. And I myself have heard that from other people also. Now, what has happened to that case, because that was just December, no one seems to know. Having said that, we all know that these cases take forever to go through the judicial system. So it could very well be, not long after that, of course, we had COVID shutdown and everything else. So it could still be working its way through the judiciary. We do not know. And of course, when a person makes an allegation, we know that the courts say a person is innocent until proven otherwise, and we give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But what we do know is there's a lot of stories swirling around this young man and his ongoing behavior when it's involving women. So and Jalissa, he wants to call. He said you can call, Sandy. I'm assuming you're talking about Mario. Listen, we are going to, again, invite Mario in this program. He can come on just like everybody else. And I'm not going to bring him on while Tia is here sharing her story, but I will give him the same courtesy of coming on the program and sharing his story about all of these girls over the years who said all these things about him. I would love to hear from Mario, and it is an open invitation, Mario. If you want to do it tomorrow morning, we can light up the show again tomorrow morning. That is no problem whatsoever. So as a matter of fact, Mario, let me scroll the WhatsApp number, 324-1612. So there's absolutely no reason why you should not be able to reach me. So one of the things that happened, again, for frank and full disclosure, Tia, is you allege that this man has not paid you.
Yes, he hasn't.
Right. So this is kind of adding an insult to injury that you work with this guy. There's some things that went down that you were not too happy about. And then on top of that, you're also trying to get your coins.
Basically, it wasn't even about the money for me. Again, I started asking people to spark conversation on Instagram, like, how could I get this money? Because I am moving soon. I'm actually leaving tomorrow for school, and I started saying like, what should I do if someone owes me money? And they've blocked me. They've ghosted everyone I've tried to like get him to speak to, because he directly said he didn't want to speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's I even have like the story where it says, should I call the police or will the police help with this? And I said, if no, what is another option that I can do? Basically everyone's what's it called? Everyone's answer was to off him, and or they'll beat him up if they don't give him their money. Like, no one plays with their money, basically was the answers. Other than that, it was file a suit, or if you don't have proof that there's nothing you can do. Then as it went on and on, everyone was like, who is this? What company is this? Why are they not paying you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kept going on and on. And when I said, oh, this is the company at the end, I was like, you know what? I feel like this has happened so many times to so many people. And I see this company working with big name brands like Digicel and the Seafire, Kamana Bay. And I just said to, you know what? I'm gonna share my story and what I know that is true. And from there, a million messages came in about how he's done things to them, and
Mm-hmm.
basically I just gave them a voice to their story, and then ended up sharing mine as well.
Wow. So Ashley Renee says it was three of them, Mario, another short one with stink breath, and one who had long dreads, were working together trying to get girl and girl action in photo shoots. Now, let me say something about these photo shoots, because like I said, over the years, I have heard stories, I have heard things. And even when DJ Vaughn posted these things back in 2017, November of 2017, I was like, hold on a second. This is the same guy I remember hearing about how he had lost his computer, because he had posted up, oh, I've lost my computer. And on that computer were hundreds, if not thousands of photos of girls, his models. And some of them were topless and in compromising positions, nude photos. And you know what? I know that to be a fact because I actually saw some of the pictures myself. Caymanian girls. And there's a few of them. I'm like, why is this girl topless showing her breasts in these beach photos? Because I know her mommy, and there's no way in hell her mommy would have approved this. Like, I was like, what the hell? But people send you these pictures on IG or whatever. It was actually in WhatsApp that I got the pictures. And I was kind of like, I'm at the time like, okay, are they legal? I mean, are the girls of age? Because if they're of age, then, I mean, technically it's still illegal to be taking naked pictures in the Cayman Islands. But at least if they're of age, I don't, adults are adults. You guys make your own decisions that you got to live with. But there was a few of them that people were saying to me, I don't know if this girl is of age. Now, what the allegation was at the time was that he didn't lose the laptop. He had shared some of the pictures. And then when the girls were like, WTF, why are you sharing these pictures? I don't know how he got them to take the naked pictures to begin with, but I guess there was some understanding that they would not be shared with other people. So when they started to get out, and you know how it is, a half naked picture in Cayman will circle around the WhatsApp circle, the Instagram Messenger, BBM back in the day, a million times. Everybody and their granny gonna get it, right? And then the girls start to hear about it, and when they were like, "What the hell is this?" His excuse was, "Oh, I lost my laptop. Somebody stole my laptop, and it had all these pictures on it." Now, listen, the dude walking with a MacBook Pro or whatever back in the day, and we all know if you are an Apple person, you can steal somebody's computer, but you ain't getting in it. Security is tight with Apple products, right? So I always thought the story when I heard that, oh, I lost my laptop, and that's why the pictures got leaked out. I always thought that sounds like a lie to me. And I'm not fooled too easily, so I never believed it. Are you aware of any young ladies that have confided in you that they have taken photos with him, naked photos? Were you ever asked to take any naked photos?
No, I was asked to take like a photo shoot with him, but I didn't end up going to the photo shoot. Not naked photos, but again, beach photos. Girls have said to me that he've asked them to take naked photos and they've backed out of it. And then on top of that, when they backed out of it, that they're not built for this industry, and he started to belittle them as the words that they used.
Wow. Now that is interesting. Huh. What a hot mess. So when you reached out to us, young lady, one of the things that you said is, you wanted to warn other young girls about a situation like this, how not to find themselves in the same position. So let us hear in your own words now why you did your post on social media, why you've reached out to me, why you wanted to share this story.
I wanted to share this story because initially how I got into it was I even looked at this man, I saw his profile, and he didn't seem like he was any kind of predator, allegedly, or even any kind of person that you should be harmful of or worrying about, because again, he's well known on island. He's a DJ. I've seen him DJ for little girls' parties and everything like that. And I see all of these brands, these really big brands, and the first thing I did myself was saying, okay, usually people who are scamming people or even in the wrong do not have these major brands backing them. So I feel like most girls who are getting into him are seeing these brands, are seeing all these people and all these girls joining him, and they're joining him on that regard for easy money. Everyone, I don't care who you are, will do something for easy money, and money is everything to some people. But is it worth something happening to you? I don't think so. And for the amount of people who have texted me, who have said something to me, I just feel like no one is ever going to be brave enough to speak out about this guy. No one is ever going to be. As I got messages as well, they're saying, I don't want to be a part of the drama. I don't want to be labeled as a whore, or she wears too small clothes, or she dresses like this. Does she not expect to do that? Like, to me, that is the most bullshit ass thing I can think of. Like, the way a girl dresses does not imply that she should be touched. She should be anything.
So I see a bunch of people saying that he says to call him. Well, he can call me. First of all, let me just get that straight. And like I said, someone said he's online. Good for him. Because what we're going to do, Mario, is we're going to invite you into the program, just like how we have done this young lady. And we're going to put questions to you, and we're going to have other people be able to give you their comments and put questions to you. Now, we have over 1,250 people that tuned in. At one point, it went up to almost 1,300 individuals. YouTube, big shout out to YouTube, massive, 184 persons on YouTube right now, and 1,065 currently on Facebook. Mario, come on the program. You got a story to tell. Set the record straight. I would love to hear what you have to say. Some people want to defend him, saying that he's done nothing wrong. What I can tell you is, first of all, I'm going to make some closing comments because we have gone over by almost half an hour. This is only a 1 hour show in the evenings. But Mario, I will give you the full 2 hours tomorrow morning. So you just message me. You come on the morning. We get started at 7:30, and we can definitely do the link up. So someone was asking about, were they underage? About the photos, like I said, there were some that were very questionable. I did not speak to them personally, but I can tell you that they would have been either underage or very much on the limit. of the age. And this wouldn't be the first time that we've heard or seen of this sort of thing before. Now, there will be those of you, Tia, thank you so much for coming on. When Tia contacted me, I said to her, young lady, I have been talking about this topic generally for a very long time. You guys know I'm a business with who you are. If you are a predator in this community, I will address the issue, right? But what I need is for people who have experienced it, who can share their story in their own words, to come on the program and do so. I can sit here and talk about this in the third person, and some of you might believe it, some of you may not believe it. All of a sudden, you're gonna hear that, oh, I have an issue with the man. Tia, my friend, good luck with your travels. Good luck with school. Thank you again so much for being brave enough to come in on here. And I just wanted to explain to people why I said to you, I'm not touching this if you can't come on and just tell the truth, say what transpired, etc. So thank you so much.
Honestly, it makes me sick. It makes me sick because I actually really want to hear what he has to say now. I
Yeah.
don't know how he's gonna lie his way out of this, and I hope that the girls that work with me, I don't want to say their names, I don't want to put them in any trouble, but I really hope that they reach out and maybe I could clear up some things where they can text me and show that I'm not lying and this is not a lie. It's actually sick that he has these people wrapped around his finger that badly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Tia. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
All right. So listen, folks, this is the score here on this program. This is called The Hard Cold Truth. We do not engage in lies or anything else. At the end of the day, you know, this young lady was very brave for coming on here and even giving the story that she has given. Thankfully for her, she was not sexually assaulted. She was not harmed, but you could see how it could have been so incredibly easy. I mean, honestly, she is a very fortunate young lady, right? And as a woman, we've all been in that situation where we're like, oh my God, oh shit, what am I doing here? You know, but you don't recognize the danger until you are in it. And then sometimes it is too late. Next thing you know, you got some creep on top of you, assaulting you. There was another incident with the DJ where a young lady came forward last year, some months back, and she hadn't really been drinking, but she was out at a venue. She was, I think, 16 or 17 years old. Sometimes she does go out and drink. And next thing you know, she wakes up in his car with her panties all twisted. She's got pain in the vagina. And I'm not talking about Mario. This is somebody else, but I'm telling you, the dangers are real, women. Somebody slipped something to her and she doesn't know how it happened, but there are a lot of people who are putting date rape drinks, or the date rape drug, what do we call it? Roofies, whatever, in your drinks, women. You have got to be so careful. You know, I was always the friend who was, and I was always the person who was like the designated driver because I don't drink. So, you know, I would drink water and I would always be watching out for my friends when we went out, when we were in Tampa, going to school at USF or whatever. Glenda says that there is an Instagram page, and I will mention this. It's at Exposing Mario Vibes Time on Instagram. And yeah, some of these women have shared their stories. Oh my gosh, I hadn't even pulled any of those up, but this is the Instagram account, and there's screenshots in this IG account where the women are talking about what has happened to them. And they're talking amongst each other. So some of the, some of the screenshots are actually of them talking about what they have endured and what has happened to them. You guys need to go read it. Go to that Instagram page, see it for yourself. These are girls who, again, what's the point of lying? They're not coming out and publicly putting a name to it, but they're like, listen, this is exactly what has happened to me. So Kyle is saying there's always three sides. So Kyle is going to be pessimistic here. And there's no doubt that there is always three sides. And then you know what, Kyle? Sometimes people just straight up tell the truth. Sometimes there is no other side. The truth is the truth. This young lady has come on here this evening with receipts. This wasn't, oh, just take my word for it. This is Miss Sandy. Look here. Look ya so. Okay. I was so scared. I had to ping my boyfriend at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Here's the time thing that I took, the timestamp. I took this picture just in case something happened to me. Here I was at 4:20 a.m. on November 11th. That's going to back up to my phone, and the police will be able to say, well, we know she was at the beach when she went missing. There have been too many people who have had something happen, from the missing nurse in the Cayman Islands, right? Women in this community are being victimized, they're being assaulted, they're being raped at the hands of men. And I hate to say it, but there are so many of you that are willing to defend this kind of behavior. And it's indefensible. It's indefensible. Come on, Mario. Feel free to explain yourself, because I, for one, want to hear it. Because I can tell you why, right? This is a message to Mario and any other man out there. You're going to keep engaging in this kind of behavior until you do it to the wrong person or the wrong person's daughter, okay? I'm the kind of bitch that it's going to be the wrong person. You understand what I'm saying? I will go to Fairbanks and have any woman up there braid my hair nicely for me and kick up my feet when I take somebody out for this kind of foolishness. I don't care which DJ you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care who your mama is, who your daddy is, who your fa, right? I just do not care. It's beyond ridiculous, Alexandria. Lauren says no excuses. The other thing that these guys do, okay, is they prey on foreign women. And I have seen that happen a lot. So they're not going to take a chance with a Cayman, because they might get a mama like me who gonna show up at your house with a machete at 4:35 after you drop my daughter off and do some shopping. So they think, oh, right, I'm going to go after these foreign girls. And that's what happened to this other girl. I'm going to go after these foreign girls who, you know, well, what was this white girl doing out partying with him anyway, and blah, blah, blah. Everybody know that they're loose and they want this and they want that. And the next, you know, it was like, I have seen it way too many times to know what the real score is. Mario can go live. Tell your side of the story. You want to come on the show, you come on the show. This was supposed to be a 1-hour show. We're half an hour into overtime, folks. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, I cannot bring Mario on tonight. And what I don't want is, I don't want this to turn into a back and forth confrontation with this young lady. Whether you guys recognize this or not, this guy, this young lady, my apologies, really had a lot of balls tonight in terms of coming on this program. And I don't want to put her in a position now where she's going to sit here and argue back and forth with Mario. That's not what this is about. She's had her time. Mario, trust me, you can come out and have your time. It ain't going to happen right now. It's not going to happen tonight. But you want to come in the morning, you want to do it tomorrow, we can link up. So I don't think that there's any benefit to having them both on one show, right? So so everyone is saying he's on the comments. Here's another person, Sandra, anonymous for the public. It is true about Mario. I've experienced it years ago. I was underage. You know what we need to figure out? We need to figure out a way to have people come on here without having their IDs like shown. Like, there has to be a way for us to do that. You know, I don't know. Anyway, folks, I gotta go. I got a family. I got a daughter that I need to raise, because Lord Jehovah, boy, me no know star, because let me tell you something. I would not hesitate. I wouldn't even be thinking about it twice. Folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will let you know if Mario decides to come on. I want to hear. Not just this allegation, all of the other allegations that have come in about you, Mario. I want you to address them one by one, all 50 plus. Talk about them all. Talk about the underage girls who say, yes, they were underage. We can handle it. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. The show was lit as always. Appreciate the love and support. Big shout out to Miracle Brokers. If you're a member of the Filipino community, make sure that you get your boxes in to send to the Philippines, only $65. Stay tuned for the song, folks. We're going to play that outro song one more time.
Magandang araw po mga kababayan, Joy Anglin po. Nabili na po ba ninyo ang dish pack ng Miracle Brokers? Up to 200 pounds kaya pong ilagay dito. Halina po kayo. Christmas na sa Pilipinas. Tamang-tama po para sa mga ate at kuya. Halina po kayo dito sa Miracle Brokers. Miski ano, pwede pong ilagay dito sa box. Pera lang po ang jowa nyo.
Contact us at 949-5989 or email us at info@miraclebrokers.
All you fi do that to a child, you pedophile.
I me say no make them take advantage of you. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, young girl going to school, yeah. I'm not following nobody. Cause that man where I call you sexy could be twice your daddy. No time rough like Greta. Plus your mama don't want me. But please me, I beg you, no make them come mess up your body. And you dirty man, you dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You dirty man, you know it's wrong. So leave the people picking them alone. It's a disgrace, man. You're just a waste man, a waste man. To your daughter, when she tell you she no happy, you see the signs and turn a blind eye. Me I beg you to stop it. That man when you have a come take you, when you left him still a tarry. You left your young girl all alone. Not take your daughter, sell out to you dirty man. You dirty man. Leave the people picking them alone. You dirty.
Talking about this world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Nobody cares if we sin, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes.